Hi, Year 3. So, welcome. You've successfully made it through the first module, and now you are on to module number 2, which is all about the classification of animals. And this video is about the 5 kingdoms of life. So, in 1770, a boy was born, and his name was Carl Linnaeus, or Linnaeus. Linnaeus. I'll say Linnaeus. It sounds right to me. And he was interested in plants and animals. He was a very curious child. He went on to university and became a professor of medicine and botany, which is the study of plants. And then he further went on and developed a system for classifying all living things called Systema Naturae, or Natura. I'm not sure how to say that. Natura? Naturae. Naturae. Anyway, that's what it was called. So here's 5 kingdoms of living things that he described. He actually started off with just the kingdom of plants and animals, but as microscopes were invented, they were able to discover smaller organisms. So the kingdom was expanded to include 5. Here's how the 5 kingdoms were organized. The first kingdom was the kingdom of monera, and that was bacteria. So single cell, I'll get onto that in a minute. Monera. Then there was the kingdom of protista, which is this over here. Then we have the kingdom of fungi, like our mushrooms. We have the kingdom of plantae, and the kingdom of animalia. Alright, so first of all, let's look at the kingdom of monera, which is our bacteria. Bacteria are basic single-cell organisms. They are the most basic of cells, and they actually don't have a nucleus, which is like the center part, or the main part of a cell. They are believed to be the oldest life forms on the planet, and in fact, scientists believe that the first organism was a monera, and all life forms might have evolved from that over time. There are more forms of bacteria than any other organism on Earth. Some bacteria can be really good for us, like we might have good gut bacteria that helps us to fight disease and digest our food. Other bacteria can make us very, very sick. So here, this dotty one, this is a streptococcal bacteria, and this is what gets in the back of your throat and gives you a sore throat. This one over here is a E. coli, sorry, I had to remember, E. coli, and this type of bacteria is found in your poos, and that's why it's extremely important to wash your hands after you've been to the toilet, because E. coli can make you sick if you ingest it. And this one down here, this nasty little thing, this is a salmonella bacteria. So when you get food poisoning and you vomit a lot, it's because this bacteria can make you very sick. There's 4,000 to 10,000 species of bacteria identified. The next kingdom is the kingdom of protista, and protists contain a nucleus, so they differ slightly with bacteria because they do have other cell organelles inside their cells. So they are usually single-celled, like a bacteria, but they can also live in colonies. And they have got that little, like I said, the nucleus, the center part of the cell, and they've also got some moving parts to them, and that means they can move around their environment. They're an extremely diverse group of living things, and they're usually found in water or in damp areas. They can be microscopically small, or they can be actually quite large. They're a bit of a hodgepodge kingdom. They're kind of the kingdom of leftovers. So they don't fit into the kingdom of animals or the kingdom of plants. They don't fit into the kingdom of fungi, and they're a bit more advanced than the kingdom of monera. So they're a bit of a bitsa group, bit of everything. They can be fungi-like, plant-like, or animal-like, depending on how they get their nutrition. So this disgusting blob of slime mold is fungi-like. This giant sea kelp is plant-like. Okay, you might have thought that seaweed was a plant, but it actually lacks the cellular structure of a plant. So it's still a very basic organism, but they can be very, very big. And then you've got these little tiny things that can be found in like pond water. So we've got, this is a protist here, and it's a little animal-like protist. It's got a nucleus here that you can see, and it's got little tiny hairs around its body that help it to move through the water, and it's having a chat here to a water flea. There's about 80,000 species of protists that have been identified so far. Okay, I'm just going to move on to fungi. Fungi is another kingdom, and they grow on land, usually in damp places. Scientists used to think that fungi were plants, but they've discovered that they don't actually make their own food the way that plants can. They need to get their nutrition from the absorption of dead and decaying organic materials. So like dead leaves or dead trees have often got fungi growing on them, which decays them and decomposes them to return the nutrients back into the soil. Some fungi can taste really, really good, and others can kill you. So yummy mushrooms, deadly toadstools. And here's a picture of some fungi growing on a old tree trunk. So you might have seen that, like if you did some bushwalking or even in your own garden. There's about 70,000 species of fungi that have been identified so far. Some of them are actually really, really beautiful. Alright, I'm going to stop this video there because it's already pretty long, and I will come back with the kingdom of plants and the kingdom of animals. Bye!